welcome back to the channel Merrily on Time. My name is Chris. Really excited to be showing you my very first Vostok watch. If you collect watches and you watch a lot of YouTube videos like I do, you will definitely come across the brand Vostok. It is a Russian brand, and this watch here, the Vostok Amphibia 420, came from Russia. It is affectionately known as the Scuba Dude, and I'm really excited to be reviewing this watch for you today on my channel. I waited 3 months for this watch to come in. Typically it takes a couple of months to get one of these watches in from Russia, and the first watch that I ordered, I contacted the seller because there was no updates after a month, and apparently it got confiscated, the first one, at Russia Customs, but this one finally made its way to me. They sent me another one, and I am delighted to have it. It is a quirky, awesome little watch, and we're going to be reviewing it for you today, as I said. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, I'm going to ask you to do that now. And of course, please dialogue with me through the comment section on the video. Let me know what you think of this watch as we go through it today. And give me a thumbs up if you like the content as well. Apparently that all helps with the YouTube algorithms. Right now I'm at about 310 subscribers, and I have another giveaway lined up at 500 subscribers that you are going to want to be a part of. So be a good person, be a good guy, be a good gal. Hit that subscribe button and join Merrily on Time. So we're going to begin by just getting up close and personal, the little video montage that I do of the watch before we get into the specifications and my impressions of the watch, things that I like and that I don't like. And so with that, here is the up close personal look of this Scuba Dude Vostok Amphibia watch. Enjoy. I thought I'd begin with just the wrist shot. As you've seen in the up close and personal, this really is just a beautiful looking watch. At first, I wasn't really convinced about this NATO style strap that is on it, but the more that I've worn it, the more I do come to appreciate it. One of the things I will say, as you can see, as I'll take this off to do the specifications, I have a 7.5 to 7 3/4 inch wrist, kind of in between. And if you have an 8-inch wrist, if you get this watch on this particular NATO style nylon strap, canvas strap, you're going to be on the last hole, and you're probably going to want to get a different strap for it. I really, when I saw it on Amazon, I got it from Amazon. I will leave a link in the description below where you can pick this one up. I picked it up at the time of purchase. It was 121 Canadian dollars, so likely around 100 US dollars is what I ended up buying this one for. And it really is just a beautiful a beautiful dive watch. So let's go over the specifications and we'll get our friend Super Kelly. Hey Super Kelly, how you doing today? Well, hello! Okay, get that out of the way. This is a 40 millimeter case, it should be, I believe, according to the specs. So yep, 39.9 there. So you've got a 40 millimeter case. The thickness with this NATO strap in, so you're going to have to, NATO style, you're going to have to factor a few millimeters in there. It's coming in at 17.5 inches thick. And that is in large part due to this amazing, look at that, amazing domed acrylic crystal that is covering the dial. And boy, that just is one of the things I absolutely love about this watch. And the lug width at the band, as you can see, is 18. And the lug to lug on this, really a nice compact lug to lug on this watch. The length for the lugs is, let's see here, really nice compact length at 45.5. So what are my impressions of this watch? Well, the first reason I bought it is simply because of the hype of the brand Vostok, or Vostok, as you can see, but in Russian the B is a V, in English Vostok. And so I just was looking around. I did a search on Amazon, and there are a whole line of amphibia models that you can get. And when I saw this one, I mean, I just had to get it. It's just a really super cool looking dive watch. It comes in a variety of different bands, bracelets even, at least the one that I got from Amazon. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below. And when I saw it on this orange NATO style strap, I think you can see it's just a real stunning looking piece with that orange off the blue. And so anytime I get a watch, guys, I just have to like the look of the watch. I mean, that is beyond price, beyond, you know, material, anything else. It has to look good, and this is a beautiful looking watch for sure. So I just love the aesthetic. I love the look. Love the orange with the blue. The finishing on the case is nicely polished on the sides. I love the angle of the lugs pointing down there, and the compact distance of that lug to lug makes this watch, aside from the length of the band, but you can replace it. This watch really sits, it's the perfect dimension for me for my 7.5 inch wrist. So you can see it there. And you know, it just, move the camera, hugs the wrist nicely. If you have a larger wrist, like an 8-inch wrist, aside from this band not fitting, it might be a little bit small for your liking, but for me, the 40 millimeter size, 40 to 42 is my sweet spot, and so it really fits the bill. I love this large, gnarly crown on it. It is unsigned, but it is a really beautiful, easy to grip, easy to use crown. Now, the one thing, there are a few things that you need to know about these Vostok watches, and it did say in the actual instructions that came with this, the crown is quite different. So it does have an automatic movement in the watch. You can see that the seconds hand is sweeping away there nicely. It does have hand winding, and so when you unscrew the crown, you can see it's a little bit wobbly. And this is kind of a trademark of Vostok. You know, some of them are even more wobbly than this, and you might think, oh my goodness, my crown, my stem is loose or broken. It's just the way that they are designed. In order to wind the watch, you turn it counterclockwise. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Here, I'll get it right near my microphone. Go off camera for a second. Not sure if you could hear that, but turning it counterclockwise will wind it, and then you pull it out. This doesn't hack, and there it is, even more wobbly when it's pulled out to the second position to set the watch. And you can see that it's not a hacking movement. And the other issue, if you're not used to these, I don't particularly like this. But you know, it is the way that these Vostoks are made. I'll show you the date change. So it's got a nice date wheel at the 3 o'clock, and it does snap right at midnight. So we're approaching the midnight hour now, and you'll see we're almost right at midnight. It just snaps over. So that is a really nice feature. And there it goes right now. Look at that, right at midnight. Haven't had a watch that actually does that yet. A lot of the watches that I have with the Seiko NH35 movements, they'll start to turn that date wheel almost at 10 after 11, and you know, it hides the date for that hour. So really neat that it does that. But the only problem with this is it's not a quick set for the date. So now that I've advanced to today, I've got to really go back and reset this date wheel, and it takes a while. Now you can either turn it clockwise and go through the motions every day, or a little trick to this is if you turn the watch back, you'll see as the watch goes back that that date wheel is going to start to move up a little bit, and then it's going to click back down, probably between the 9 and the 8 o'clock there. There it goes down. Now I can scroll forward again, and when I hit midnight, it will go to the 20. And that's kind of the quickest way to set that date. So it's not exactly a quick date set. So this is just a quirky little thing about this watch, and I'm not a huge fan of it. But overall, I love the look and feel of this watch. So I can live with that. Let's just look at the dial here. You can see it's named after the scuba dude, which you see at the 12, 1, and 2 o'clock. I love the second hand, the red that is just giving it a bit of color. Out in the sun, you can see, and even in my studio lights, this stainless steel bezel does glitter a bit, as well as the applied indices. You can see as well, and I'll give you a lume shot in just a moment, at each of the indices at the 5 minute markers, you have little dots that do lume. And I love the design of the hour hand there, just the arrow. I'll just zoom in, and guys, it's just beautiful. Some Russian text at the 12 o'clock, which I really have no idea what that says. And I'll show you the case back as well, which is really cool. And then I'll show you the lume shot. So yeah, overall, I just think this is a well-made. It's just a well-made watch. Really quirky and cool. The crown is something I'm not a fan of. I am also not a fan of the fact that it only has 18 millimeter wide lugs for the band. I would have preferred a 40 by 20. I think that would have been even better. Give the watch a little bit more wrist presence having a 20 millimeter wide band. In fact, my wife, when she looked at it, had said that wondered if I got the girls model, the ladies model. Maybe 20 millimeters at the lugs would have been a little bit better. That definitely would have been a preference. I'm not a huge fan of the date set. The crown, it is very different, and once you get used to it, it's okay, but I still don't particularly like it. The finishing and everything else on the watch is pretty fantastic. And for $120, you really can't go wrong. Let me just pop this off so that you can see the case back. And no, wrong way. So this is a Vostok Amphibia. So you can see in Russian the text there. Again, no idea what any of that means, but in the middle you have the Amphibia name, in Russian. And I'll leave a link in the description, again, where you can pick this one up. And also another website that I had heard about, Marinom, kind of an official site for these Russian Vostok watches. You can peruse that website, and I'll leave a link in the description for it as well. And there are tons and tons and tons of these watches, and most of them, or a good number of them, like this one, fall in the $75 to $100 US range. So you can really pick up one of these watches for a good price. The other thing I do like about this is it does have 200 meters of water resistance, and there are videos on YouTube where people have pressure tested this watch, this particular watch, and it has exceeded 200 meters by quite a bit. I think one person commented on my unboxing video of this watch that it had, in one of those YouTube tests, gone to close to 600 meters of water resistance before this acrylic crystal cracked. And that's just another thing that I love about this, is that acrylic crystal. The bezel is something that I'm not a huge fan of as far as just utilizing it and using it. It just doesn't have any numbers. It just has the red and the black dots that go around. You can see if you, and it is bidirectional in tension, so it's not a clicking bezel. It does stay, you can't knock it and move it, so it is nice and stiff. It doesn't click when it turns. And so if you want to time something for 20 minutes, you can set the red dot. Let me see if I can't really see it here. Okay, you can set the red dot at your minute hand, and then when it gets to this other dot, that's 20 minutes. And then if you set it at the black dot, you're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes for it. So you can kind of use this bezel to time 20-minute, 30-minute intervals using those red and black dots. I'd rather have numbers, but again, originality, kind of a quirky, cool design on that. Certainly not something that I'm overly bothered with, but it is just, I think you guys can see, this is just a really cool watch. It does have some lume on it. I will show you the lume shot. These dots lume up as well as the hour and the minute hand. Let me show you the lume shot now. So you can see it is fairly dark enough in here to do a decent lume shot. One of the things that I don't like about the lume is that none of the markers on the bezel, as far as it being a dive watch, if you're timing something, you need to be able to kind of see, at least with one of these markers on the bezel, in a darker setting underwater. You would need to at least see one of those if you want to actually use it for a dive watch, which I never will, but for dive watch functionality, that is certainly a downside, that nothing on the bezel looms up. So let's charge this baby, and I'll show you the lume now. And I'm not using a black light or anything like that. I don't know if that makes a major difference. Just a regular, fairly bright mini mag flashlight. And there is the lume. So the hour and the minute hand are quite nicely lumed. And then all you have is the dots at the 5-minute markers there. And you have the little bit of a lollipop on the seconds hand that is lumed as well. The dots around those 5-minute markers are not going to last overly long, and the hour and the minute hand do last a good 20, 30 plus minutes. So that's really good. But again, as far as a dive watch and functionality underwater, with nothing on the bezel looming, no pip to use as far as putting at the minute hand, that's a bit of a bummer as far as that part is concerned. And you can see the dots around the 5-minute indices are already starting to lose their lume. So hour and minute hand are okay. The rest of the lume is just mediocre on those 5-minute markers. So for 121 Canadian dollars, sub 100 US dollars, you can get this Vostok Amphibia Scuba dude. It is the 420. I'll leave the model number in the description. Probably it will be on the thumbnail as well. And you're getting a great watch at that. I wasn't overly convinced at first and wondered about the NATO style strap. Hadn't had one up until now, but I have fallen in love with this thing, absolutely. And so, please hit subscribe. Let me know, most importantly, what you think about this watch. Leave a comment below. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you like the video. Helps with all the YouTube algorithmic stuff. And thanks so much for supporting the channel. And remember, everybody, when you leave your house, make sure you have a great looking piece to wear on your wrist like this Scuba Dude Vostok Amphibia. And make sure that wherever you are going, you get there on time. Hit that subscribe button, check out that video, and thanks for tuning in. We will see you in the next one.